Right, guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name's Adam, and as always, I'm joined by Baker. Evening, Baker.
Just say what you said to me just before we came in.
What was it?
So have a good one, mate. Have a good one, mate.
Have a good one. I was trying to be nice.
Some week,
yeah. But for everyone, not just for me and you, but for maybe it's not as bad. But I think we between us, we've had probably two of the worst kinds of weeks for two very different reasons. Yeah.
Phenomenal week. In a bad way.
Let's start with the fireball.
Oh God, I've got a beer. Oh, no.
I've got beer. I've got fireball. I've got the whole lot. I've got beer.
We're starting with a fireball straight off the bat.
Starting with a fireball. Get the fireball out. It deserves it. We need to do it. I've also got something to wash it down with as well. I'm well prepared for tonight.
That looked like quite a big glass as well.
It was nice. Quite a big glass. I deliberately poured it because somebody gave me shit last time I did a fireball, and they said it wasn't even a pathetic swig.
Nice.
So
evening
fireball.
Gameweek 11. Not fully in the bank, but not far off.
How many points you got, mate?
I have 11 points from 8 players, including a captain.
What are we doing?
It's literally not possible to get the amount of points that I've managed to get this week. It's not. You get 2 points for playing.
And for anyone that doesn't know, we'll get to the game weeks in a minute, but for everyone that doesn't know, we both had different Brentford keepers play 45 minutes each.
Yeah. Yours got 1 point more than mine.
Oh, yeah.
Mine got 0. I had a 0 point Flecken and then a 0 point Cash today.
That's incredible. Yeah, I got 1 point from Strakosha, which was just pure bench wankery. It was pure bench wankery. And then someone said he's coming on. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
I have 0 points from the 8 players that have played, but first bench, Share, 5 points. Second bench, Archer, 9 points. Third bench, Kabore, what's he got? 11 points?
No.
8 points? 8 points. Yeah, clean wiped out. 8 points. So my 3 playing bench have got double the amount of points. They've got 22 points between them, and my 8 players that have played have got 11.
Yes.
That's the bit that makes it so mad, isn't it? It's like that all 3 on the bench return and all 8 on the pitch don't. Like it just, you feel like the game's playing and it's just you two. It's not you and the game. There's not 10 million of us. There's just you and this game, and it's trying to hurt you. But it does a really good job of it.
Yeah.
How did it hurt you this week, mate? Tell the story. So you got to tell the story.
Yeah, I'm pouring myself a fireball while I tell the story. So I, for anyone who doesn't know, which I imagine everyone does anyway, but if anyone doesn't know, I transferred out Doku this week for a hit. And you said, I like those moves or something like that. Afterwards.
Mate, once someone's made the moves, like you don't say that's a lot of like they've made the moves.
What the fuck have you done?
Yeah, no, like, I don't hate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
who was that last week? Was it Danny we spoke to when he said anyone that says I don't hate that, it's just like you're not really enjoying it. So yeah. So
did you get spooked by someone said something about the same team? Is that what spooked you?
It wasn't. I mean, that's not spooking me. Oh, you mean as in like, did I think that he wasn't going to start? Yeah, that's exactly it. So I saw it a couple of places on Twitter. I can't remember where now, but then I looked on Play Sharper as well, and I use it for So Rare. I should know better than to use it for Premier League because we've got so many other places where we can. So I had that information in the back of my mind. I also had the Hive Mind prediction from Jump the Wave, which had Doku at like 60-40 versus Grealish. So I was like, well, I mean, if the Hive Mind don't really know, and the other stuff that I've seen is saying, you know, last week was the best performance of the season against United, and it's probably going to be unchanged. Then I was just like, well, okay, that makes sense. Like, it makes perfect sense. So who do I want in this game? Oh yeah, the guy that's like scored in the last three times they've played Bournemouth. I'll have Foden. That'd be good. That'd be nice. That'd be fun.
I mean, he did score again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like the Haaland cap is just the Haaland cap, right? But it's the Doku thing that's the. It's weird because it's not the fact that it actually hurt me not having him, because nobody had him. Like nobody has Doku. Like nobody's out there saying, but it would have been a clean 22 points against the field. A clean 22 points.
And as this week's, sorry, not to just rub this in, but as this week's now played out,
I mean,
if you now add it onto it, like it actually becomes an even more ridiculous thing.
Well, I'd have been up to, so I do what,
don't do the calculator. Don't do the calculator.
I'm doing it in my head with the Bruno move and the Maddison and the Watkins and the Darwin and the stuff. I mean, that wasn't really a move I was going to make, but yeah, just not doing that move. I'd have probably kept Trips as well with that move. Was I? Because I'd have dumped Alvarez, wasn't I? That was what I was looking at. Because I was looking at dumping Alvarez. Was I? I sent it to you what I was going to do.
I just assumed
if Alvarez
you were doing
wasn't going to start.
JWP to Sob and Trippier to Simicast. That's what I assumed you were doing. Like that was kind of the last thing that I knew that I think you were thinking. You was set. And then
I took a rogue.
Which even that would have been painful in the end.
Yeah.
Irritating. It's irritating when you but I can see why.
What did Praz text you as soon as I posted my team?
I think he said,
"What the fuck has he done?"
No, I think he called you a madman.
Oh, he called me that on Twitter.
There is one message I haven't told you.
Go on.
I got a message from Luke before the game started.
Really?
I got a message about a half hour before the game and said, Adam's transferred out Doku in a Doku game. This is going to be awful.
Oh, perfect.
And he was right.
God, where was his fucking prediction then?
So look, if we want to play with it, really, but we just got to slide it. We got to slide in the DMs. We got to use our friends. We
have to. I mean, because if they don't have Haaland in their teams, then they're not leaking shit, are they?
Yeah. Well, he didn't know. He didn't know the team, so
but he doesn't know the team normally. He normally predicts it, right? So...
No, but he did think it was a Doku game. That's the only thing I think he would have. I think if you'd slid in, I think he might have tried to talk you out of it.
Yeah.
But
that was one thing I didn't do. I probably should have just asked him.
This is where it's like, because we're so engaged, you're playing on leaks, you're on it, you're thinking, you're trying to work through it, and then and it's not easy. Like, it's not easy with family either. I don't know, like what you were doing, but like,
I was at a birthday party for one of my daughter's friends at Soft Play.
Yeah,
with like 20 parents watching me look at my phone between 10 and 11, and me looking like a complete twat, not wanting to speak to anyone.
Yeah, I sent you a picture. I was like driving through muddy puddles with like 3 kids in the back, like not even all of my children, and still trying to look at my phone.
Yeah. So it wasn't the best. So it wasn't the best. I mean, it's got to go. It's got to be up there. I mean, I challenge anyone to show me a transfer that's worked out worse than that. I challenge anyone to show me that. Send it to me. I want to see it.
There are some small swings, like our friend Ivan, for example. Like he wanted Anderson, but when he wildcarded, but by point 1 he was priced out, so he went Mitchell. And then like that this week, you get 10-point swings. They do happen, and sometimes you get them because they're nice, and everybody else who had Mitchell, post this, I'm sure if they could have afforded Anderson, they would have added Anderson. But because he'd gone up, it's like, I'll have Mitchell. But there's loads of people that had Gahey and didn't have Mitchell, for example, and there's 10-point swings and all those type of things. So there are plenty, but God, that was
Anderson was massive for me this week.
Yeah,
huge.
Yeah. At least you still got points out of Anderson. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, so he decided to chuck himself out the bonus in the last 2 minutes, but apart from that, it's fine.
We take any returns this week, mate. I got none of them. So,
cheers.
Are you doing another fireball? I'm not doing another fireball. I've got another beer.
That was bigger than the first one.
Fireball for the week. Fireball for Doku. Well done.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if Tottenham don't do well tomorrow night, I will definitely be on the Liverpool. So we're gonna need to get some stocks in. That's my only hope. Triple Spurs tomorrow night is my only hope.
So, just for clarity, here are the scores. There's not many points here. 27 points between the two of us, which is only just 5 more points than Doku.
I got half Doku's points.
I haven't reached Doku's points either.
As our friend Kev said in the chat earlier, is you've taken the headlines on the Doku, and I'm sitting here with a 10 million game week rank.
There's 10.28 million players in the game, and I think your game week rank according to FPL Gameweek is 10.16 million. There's like 80,000 managers.
It's genuinely impossible. 11 points from 8 players, including the captain.
It's genuinely, but it is. It is. So just very quick for audio. We're not going to dwell on this now. We've spoken about it. I had Strakosha in goal, 1 point. Simicast, Cash, and Anderson for 0 and 5. Foden 6. Soboslai 3. I've got Maddison tomorrow. Salah 2. Alvarez 2. Watkins 2. Haaland 2. You've done yours. You've done yours.
It's binary, mate. Mine. You know what I mean?
Basically. So I've gone down about 800k. You've gone down about 800k, haven't you? Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, anybody who misses out from the Tottenham lads tomorrow is just I'll take the wins. I'll take the wins. If somehow that Tottenham Chelsea game get called off tomorrow and I could just get myself an extra 22 points. But unbelievable result.
Yeah.
Unbelievable result.
Yeah, I get 5 points from share. Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah. Oh, you will. When you haven't got Sun, you definitely take having the game called off.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, tomorrow's all about pain. Yeah, my game week's going to get worse tomorrow. How stupid is that? My game week's going to get worse tomorrow. So
who's to say?
I'm trying to work out how to actually get out of this.
I thought my game week would get better with triple Villa, but 4 points. Yeah. Right.
Right. So, very quickly, just want to say thanks to Dan, who supports the podcast at CryptoBlock Dan. Thank you to Dan. We don't thank him enough. We thank you again. And if you enjoy, look, his face appeared just as I said that. That's perfect. So, but if you do like the content that we do, just make sure you hit like, hit subscribe. We'll drink fireballs, we'll drink beer, we'll chat, we'll have good weeks, we'll have bad weeks, we'll make stupid transfers. I will. And we'll have some fun with it. And because we enjoy having some fun with it, we both enjoy golf as well. So if you saw from the last podcast, we are going to do an FPL Golf Day. It's going to be in the UK, somewhere in the middle of the country, probably leaning towards the south, in truth, just because that's so far where the sort of highest concentration of people are. But if you are interested, the link will be in the description. It's not in the description, but you can go to bit.ly/AAFPL Golf Day and just register your interest in there. Drop your email, drop some bits. It's just data collection. No, it's not data collection. It's just me grabbing email addresses so that I can start to talk to you guys about the courses and stuff like that when we get stuff sorted. So it'll be sometime in 2024, probably. Well, it'll be sometime when there's some sunshine, right? We'll try and avoid winter months and we'll see how that works. But if you're interested, there will be a link in the description below. If you're watching back and you're not live, the link will be in the description below. But if not, I've already read it out. So last week as well, we did a stream for Macmillan. If you did not see, last week was 8 years since Baker found out that he had a tennis ball sized tumor, right? Or mass or something that was a big problem. So, everything from that podcast, that YouTube, was donated to Macmillan. So the revenue on that in YouTube was about £117 after they took all their fees and stuff. We do love YouTube. So we
don't normally get that per week, by the way. Just in case anyone thinks that we got that.
No, we got super chats and stuff like that. So thank you to everyone that did contribute, and there were some people that contributed to Macmillan directly as well. So well done to you guys. We said we match it, so £235 has gone into Macmillan's this morning, and hopefully that will do some good. So straight into the game weeks. Straight into the games.
Let's go.
Oh, and sorry, the last thing before we start on this game, make sure you retweet the the tweet about the podcast. Get more people here. We want more people here because we're going to give away some mugs. I've got them right here. There's a mug here. This is going to go to someone. I'll go and get another one and I'll send it to someone else. We'll do a couple, maybe 3. My team ID, by the way, is 1282. That's going to be important. Baker doesn't know why, but that's going to be important. 1282. If you didn't know that, I just didn't want to give an advantage to people who are in mini leagues with me, basically. So anyone who's listening, you've got an advantage. If you're listening back, you've missed it. Right. Fulham United. What? I mean, they're still bad, right? I mean, like they're still terrible. Very lucky to get away with this.
Even. I feel.
Why'd you feel bad? Onana is horrible. Like he's a horrible goalkeeper.
Just feel like every week I'm just gonna say that I hate Ten Hag and I hate this United team, but I hate Ten Hag and I hate this United team. Like I don't see any good ever coming of it. They're not showing. They have no shape. Like Mark Our Stats. If anyone doesn't know Mark Our Stats, Mark Our Stats bot it's always a great one to look after the week, just to look at past match shapes. It gives you an idea of how a team might have played. And if you look at this, you're like, that's not a team. Like it's not a team. There's no cohesiveness about it at all. There's nothing that looks worthwhile. They did work harder, but what would you expect to have a team with Maguire and Evans? You expect a team's going to work harder than what they had been working.
Yeah,
that happened. So that's a sensible thing to do. Other than that, you just rely on Bruno, and Bruno was high compared to the others because he had to be with it. The only huge positives I've seen, but these positives have been smacking him in the face every week for as many weeks. We've said it virtually every week. Play Garnacho, play Palestri. They're the only two that seem like they actually get it.
Yeah. Well, there's a young desire to actually do shit, right? To do stuff.
Yeah.
There's actually a bit of energy there.
Well, it's more like, yeah, everyone else is pissed off of it.
Yeah.
Clearly pissed off of it. And it's like, they're not, because they want to get in the team. But I don't think Garnacho knows any other way. I genuinely don't. Like, he just looks like he's hungry. Like, he is key for them. Like, they need it. But I think if you think there's good science here, then there's not good science here. There's no good science here. But
the problem is they play Luton next week at home.
Yeah, fixtures are still great. And they're getting cheaper.
Yeah.
They're getting cheaper because everyone sold them. I mean, everyone who's kept Rashford laugh. I didn't see anybody who hadn't kept Rashford that didn't have Archer sub on for him. Literally everybody who had Rashford had Archer sub on for him, so he got 9 points for him this week. So that's good. But Bruno, great news about Bruno doing everything. They don't have to be any good.
Yeah,
they just need to get a goal or two. And we've said it a million times. You get to the last minute of a game,
It was pure calamity, though. Everything about that goal was just like pure.
Apart from the touch.
Well, the touch from
the shift from the left to the right is world class. It's like literally the best moment in the entire match. So, like Leno probably should still have saved it, to be fair. But that touch alone, you're like, yeah,
you can allow it.
Yeah, we just talked about this before the game started. He's a genuine captain option next week, even with all this.
Absolutely. I mean, anybody that's, I know like FPL Sports Science, Sam is, and the analytics boys. A lot of them, if they're wildcarding like Gameweek 19, anyone who's still holding on to their wildcards still has these United assets because they've been working their way through the fixtures, and so they've now got a prime captain sitting there, and yeah, it feels like it should be the obvious one, right? I mean, it's the fixture.
As
it's the fixture.
As the week progresses, we've got Europe in midweek, so we'll see how it plays out. We don't know Haaland's status. We don't know any of these things as yet. We've got a big week ahead of it, but he's in the equation.
Yeah, He'll be on the thumbnails. He'll be in the YouTube videos. He'll be in those for sure.
He doesn't know any. Yeah, I mean, there's a brilliant picture right at the end of like he just looks exhausted as he scores, as everyone else is around him, but he's just literally carried that whole team.
Yeah.
Rest of both of these is not a huge talking point, I don't think.
No.
Both teams. We've seen this a lot this week, but like didn't get 1.7 XG between them. It's not a big game.
Just from a decision point of view, what's your view on the McTominay goal? Because I think that's just fine. It's offside. I've got no issues with it.
Yeah. I mean, he has challenged for the ball. Like I would just think
he's challenged for the ball / blocked the Fulham defender from actually getting to the ball.
Yeah.
So I think that's
it's
enough.
Gone for the ball. It's gone for the ball. It feels technical, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Move on?
Yeah, move on.
Luton versus Liverpool. The last game today. I mean, I feel like we got away with it a little bit, not having Darwin. I say a little bit.
Not having Darwin.
Well, I don't know whether to say a lot or a little bit, because that's kind of just what you expect from him. I don't get him. I don't get him as a footballer, like in that sense, or as a striker. He had a moment where, I mean, he's obviously the two chances that you see, right, are the big chances that he missed, and then in between that is this ball from Salah that goes down the right channel, and he hits this absolute pile driver into Kaminsky, who makes a decent save. Like, and that's a tough thing to do. Take the ball on the run, hit it near post. Like, we're all looking at his goal in the midweek as well against Bournemouth. Like, Darwin Núñez couldn't be summed up more in a 30-second clip than miscontrolling it, getting laughed at by the fans, and then banging it in the top corner. Like, that is, like, you couldn't get a more Darwin Núñez clip than that.
Yeah, I mean, we've had strikers
I hate
before.
owning him.
Yeah, we've had strikers before where you feel like if they have time, they make stupid decisions, and I feel like he's definitely one of those. When it's like he has nothing but that to just hit it, he just hits it, and it's great. I think for Liverpool, we've seen this, and this is going to play out in many of the games we've seen. And it'll hark back to Doku a little bit, but we're seeing it in a lot of these teams. All these teams are not playing fullbacks that are doing anything. They're not doing it. The fullbacks don't really create. Trent's obviously doing quarterback stuff, but he's not occupying any space that you really want from a fullback, or traditionally what we understand from a fullback. So therefore, it is a little easier for teams to sit a little deeper. It is a little bit easier for them to be a bit more compact. And then you kind of do need some sort of like 1v1 specialists, somebody that can make up for the fact that you haven't stretching teams with overlappers and so forth. Liverpool haven't really got one of those. Luis Diaz is probably
the closest. But then obviously with what's going on, you can't expect.
I actually think they would have been better today if they put Darwin left and Jota through the middle. You know, because I actually feel like strangely, if Darwin's like running onto it, I think he shoots well when he runs onto a ball, or he's already had a touch and runs onto it. I think when it's like a first time shots, I was trying to think earlier about a headed goal from Darwin. I actually can't think of a single headed goal that Darwin's ever scored. Might be wrong, but I can't. It doesn't ring to me that he scores particularly many headed goals, and I do wonder, is would you see a lot of this potentially with him as the number 9, where he gets all the chances, but he doesn't actually get the goals, or he relies on keepers to mess up to get the goals? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously he's got all the XG, he's done the business.
Yeah, I think he was like 0.9 today, something like that.
Yeah, if you own him, you feel like. But you also know that even if he'd scored, he wouldn't have been in the bonus because he misses so many chances.
Yes.
But that's what you're getting with him. I mean, Alisson gets top bonus here on a 1-1 draw.
Yeah. Yeah, he missed 3 big he missed 3 big chances. He missed 3 big chances, did Darwin.
Yeah, that's insane. But But if he scores that early one that goes in instead of hitting the bar,
yeah,
I expect he relaxes and he scored a hat-trick today.
Yeah, that's fair.
Szoboszlai is like in better positions than Mo is. Like he was everything that went around the box, the amount of times that there was like through balls and he was almost onto them, the amount of times he's in central areas that you feel like he's going to be involved in the goal. Like, I thought you were very unlucky not to get some points from Szoboszlai.
Yeah, I do feel like he's like the assister to the assister though, the way that he plays right now, which is
Possibly.
which is kind of, it doesn't help the fact that I've just brought him in, but
yeah,
I will leave him there. I have to leave him there for a little bit at least.
Yeah. The fixtures are too good. But is Mo home to Brentford? Surely that should be the easy one. But it's really he was so wide. So wide.
Yeah. But he was the furthest forward.
He was first forward. Yeah. I can't play my brain for it. I can't understand him heading the ball across to Darwin for that miss. I just can't understand it.
I don't think it was deliberate. I don't think that header was deliberate. I think it's a bad header.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he's fucked the header. I think he's fucked the header. I mean, it's not something that we see from Mo normally anyway. I mean, he was I was looking at the heat map now. He was incredibly wide while I dropped that. But yeah, I think he's tried to get it. It's difficult, but I think he's tried. I think that he should be heading that on goal. You're right, and I think he's miscued that.
Maybe he's seen Darwin late and he'd done that. Neither.
Maybe, indecision type thing.
But Liverpool, I genuinely watched them in the first half and still think they just play football in the way you want teams to play football. Like they were continually trying to just break through. They'd still continually open. It's no different to what we've been saying every week. McAllister is a terrible, terrible six. And therefore you can really easily get to them. Like he was getting really close to getting sent off on a second booking. He tried to get Cabral around one and missed him. And if it had got him, that would have been it. That's their only problem at the moment. But going forward, they push you.
Yeah. Can you hear fireworks?
I can't hear fireworks.
Okay.
No, I had the same here earlier, but
maybe YouTube can hit the fireworks, but okay. That's fine. Okay. Is there anyone else we need to talk about in here? Probably not. I imagine Luis Diaz will come back in. Does that
kind of think so?
I mean, if he does, like he gets all the XG, but for me, getting the XG is more about the players around the person than about the person that strikes it, right? So, like, if Darwin continues to underperform his XG the way he does, like, he's a massive minutes risk. So, I feel like I would trust Jota more in that position personally. Like, I would. I mean, I'm not Jurgen Klopp, right? But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not convincing myself not to go to Darwin because I'm tripled up on Liverpool now, so I can't get there. But it makes me feel more comfortable knowing that he's missed these chances. Because again, he's not getting XG because he's creating it himself. He's not like a Salah where he will take 2-3 people on. He'll create some space, get himself in a good position. He will have been played into that position, or Salah nods it across the goal line and he puts it over the bar. That sort of crap, right? So he's not a kind of player that will create it himself. He has to be given. He's given the XG, right? So if he's not scoring it,
I still think like he's the lead number 9, and I think I can still see us going there. I really can still see us going there. Watkins, that's going to get a bit icky.
Yeah.
But if he keeps playing number 9, there was a few times Szoboszlai and him linked up today, and they sort of like exchanged glances, and I was like, "Oh, hello, is this the new pair? Are these the new big dogs here? Because they could be around a long time." I thought that was interesting. the way that they were looking for each other. Darwin's still a fine asset.
Let's leave it.
Day. Just wasn't today.
Let's leave it there. Brentford versus West Ham. Some really good goals in this game. Some typical Brentford stuff going on with, just lifting the ball back into the area to ensure there's a big chance rather than trying to take on a shot. For the Mopé goal, which is very clever. The Bowen goal, was it handball? Not handball, probably not. But and Bumo still good. Like Bumo is probably unlucky not to get more. Definitely unlucky not to get more.
This is the best game of the weekend. If you look at aggregate XG and sort of like average like back and forth, this is pretty much the only good game of the weekend
so far. Well, so far.
Yeah, but this is pretty much the only good game, and there's just two teams, not the great at defending, either of them. Yeah, we talked about it. But I had both keepers from this. We both got both keepers from this.
We both had both keepers. We had three keepers from this.
We're now stuck though with Areola, who's got one clean sheet all season.
Fucking unreal, conceding one. Yeah,
it's a problem. It's definitely a problem that's
he's still making saves. He's still making saves.
Some saves, but he still concedes.
Yeah, yes, he still concedes.
Like he's still getting. I think he's got 1 point in 3 of the last 4 games.
Yeah, that's
not ideal. It's definitely not ideal.
Yeah,
like, Areola is an issue.
Yeah, I bet Johnston owners are like just loving life right now. They're about to turn. The fixtures will turn in a few weeks, but they're loving it right now. Just
mate, that's my big regret.
Dreaming.
My big regret of that wild card was that I didn't think. I thought, I can't do another goalkeeper transfer, so don't go Johnston for now. Go Flecken. That would have been a lot of difference points. Hey ho.
Well, I mean, if Flecken's out, at least I've got an option with Strakosha. They've got Luton. They've got Luton in game week 14.
Yeah, but Sheff Utd next 2 game weeks.
Oh yeah, pretty bad.
We weren't playing them anyway. So even if Flecken's out, like I'm not really that bothered because I don't need him to December for sure.
Yeah,
2nd of December is the next time I might play him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bowen is, scored. Good. Should have had an assist that Antonio took off Benrahma. That's the big boy.
That
was stupid.
That was so dumb.
So dumb.
But I mean, at the same, it's kind of a striker thing, right? I mean, trying to tell a striker to leave the ball when he's 3 yards out is so difficult. Like you'd expect at that level that normally they do. Like like lower level shit, like strikers just fucking do it anyway. They don't care. But at that level,
Kudus' goal was good, wasn't it? Kudus' goal.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we know he's quality. That's the thing. We know of his quality.
But he has to play now as well. They can't not play Kudus. He's too good.
Yeah.
He's got to play. He's got to play on the weekends.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not winning. He has to play. So he scores the goal against Arsenal midweek, scores this goal, wonder goals. They got to play him. Bowen good. Kudus good.
Ward-Prowse bad.
Ward-Prowse is bad. Bumo is
still good.
It's just still great. Still great. Jensen, but like Jensen, nobody's picking Jensen all season, but he's the bargain Beckham. Like when you watch him play, like his delivery is just phenomenal. He's a proper class act, Jensen. And
because of the way that they develop chances, right? They have these positions where Jensen is going to be free with the ball, and he'll look to put it corridor of uncertainty. That like Trent's crosses are very much kind of like back post, some corridor of uncertainty, but a lot of back post, a lot of switching, a lot of this, a lot of that. Because of the way that Brentford are drilled to create chances, this is probably as I said, like the first goal was because it was looped back in. All the West Ham players get nervous about it and get backed off. And then suddenly, I don't know who struck it before. Who got the assist for Mope? Was it Bumo as well? No. Onyeka?
No. Onyeka, Frank Onyeka.
So Onyeka shoots, and then obviously Mope's 3 yards out. So, but all of the West Ham players at that point have backed off. But that's created by that ball going back in again. And just creating chaos, just creating madness. I mean, they're still a good team.
This is prime Brentford. Look at it, like biggest chances, knock on the door.
And West Ham's isn't far off it, to be fair. It's just a game of big chances.
Started the season and just left them, Boomer and Jensen, like they've got 136 points between them this season.
Yeah, it's good.
In 11 games.
You don't need to tell me about when Boomer has got points. I did that shit last week. 15
Jensen's
points.
Got more points than Bruno this season.
Oh, I love this game.
He's a player. He's a player.
Move on.
Yeah, move on.
Newcastle versus Arsenal. So for anyone who doesn't know, we put the person that gets 3 bonus points in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And all 3 of these boys got 3 bonus points.
It's first for the pod?
Maybe not. It's been a while.
3.
It's been a while since we've had 3. It's been a long time since I've seen 3. 3's a lot.
I don't think we've had 3.
Trips, Joelinton, Lascelles.
Wow.
Well,
that was the most interesting thing of that last half hour. Because actually, when you look at this, there was nothing. There was no XG for the last half hour. Nothing.
Yeah, 0.
The only thing that was interesting me was pressing refresh and seeing these players on 24 or 23. Because Gordon was on. These guys got 3 bonus on 24 baseline or total bonus, which is low. And Gordon was on 23. And Lascelles was the one that came. So Lascelles was a fair bit lower to them. But all I had to get me through that last half hour was just pressing the refresh button and just seeing whether anyone would go up 24. And when Trippier did the foul right at the end in the corner, I was like, book him. Because that genuinely, oh yeah, that would have been a 4-point booking.
Yeah.
It'd have been straight out the bonus. If he'd booked him for that one on the corner, it'd been a 4-point booking. So that was fun.
He was always scoring after I transferred him out.
He would have. Should we do VAR?
We can do VAR.
I'll be honest, from the weekend, the thing on VAR, as much as anything that is bad in refereeing, probably the bit that annoys me the most actually is just general punditry and commentary that we see nowadays, that people just either don't get the rules or they like are inconsistent in how they want to apply them. Like so therefore then they make it sound sometimes worse, and then the people in the refereeing and I feel like it'd be easier to train the media than it would be. So let me give you an example on the goal, for example. And let me do it in cricket terms, because probably cricket terms is easier actually than football terms. But when there's a wicket in cricket, let's say there's an LBW in cricket, if anyone plays that. So when the ball hits them on the pads, if you don't know cricket, right, the first thing they'll do is they'll check to see if there's bat involved, and they'll do it with eyeball first. They'll check to see if there's any bat, because if there's any bat, it doesn't matter where it hits on the pads. Then they'll do the little snicker meter, which when they do the little infrared stuff, that little wavy line, and see if that happens. And then once they've that done, then they'll do the rest. So you do the objective stuff first, and then you move on to the subjective stuff.
Yep.
Now, the most obvious thing in the Newcastle goal is the 2-handed push in the back. But that's also the most subjective part of the incident.
Agreed.
So the first part is, did the ball go out of play?
Yep.
So you should do that first. Yeah. And then
are we in agreement that you can't tell?
I don't understand. I don't understand why they even check it.
Yeah. If they don't have the tech, if we don't have the tech to do it,
but why don't they have the tech? Why do they have it on the lines?
Why don't? Yeah, I mean, like, being Sports have it, like, and they can just generate that shit straight away. Like, you can generate stuff from an image really easily.
Yeah,
really they should just have it, right? But
if they want to check it, or just don't check it. Or don't. It's not part of the game. It's not part of the VAR. Like it's either out of scope or.
Because do you remember? So go away from this. Do you remember a goal? I can't remember whether it was a given or not. Where there was I think it was United. I can't remember. But there was a ball that was played out of play, like halfway line.
That was at St James's Park. I think it was Manchester United and Newcastle. It was definitely St James's Park.
And the ball goes out of play and then down the line, and then they were trying to work out whether it was in or out. And it's like, well, anyway.
They shouldn't do things they shouldn't do. But that should be an objective thing that they know the answer to if they're going to check it or not. The second thing should be to check handball.
They didn't feel like they checked it.
They didn't check handball.
They didn't check
because
it.
They've gone
really
through
weird.
So many other checks in such a stupid order.
It was so weird because that was the bit that for me felt like it was the most obvious. There was an angle there that you could clearly see that it came off Joe Linton's hand.
Yeah. Then they should check offside or offside, then handball, whichever way you want to do it. But because they're both, in fact, you should probably do offside first if you're going to do it. But you should check offside. And then you were like, well, I can't see. And I can't see if it's offside, fine. I don't know. And then the last thing they should do is that. And,
how do they not have an offside? I don't get how they don't work out the offside bit though.
But in it, they should tell us that's the way it's going. So it should almost be like it's so easy on the display. It should be like how it's done on cricket is it's like step 1 is this, then step 2 is that, and then step 3 is that, and step 4 is that.
Yeah, everyone knows how it's done.
You don't even pay attention to step 1, step 2, step 3. You just wait for step 4 because that's the bit that's going to be interesting here. Yeah. And it should be like that they go through the stages, and the commentators should know they're going to go through the stages of it. But what they do is start saying conspiracy theories, like when it gets to step 2, how many ways are they going to try and disallow this and stuff? And everyone's saying the same stuff. And actually what that then leads to is by the time it gets to the foul, everyone's worked up into such a state that they've just let it go.
Yeah,
they just let it go, and that's not helping anybody here because that goal should just be disallowed. He's pushed him in the back.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But even if he had disallowed it, you'd have had instead of having you'd have had a Newcastle statement that they were looking for ways to disallow it. Like, do you know what I mean? It's because nobody's trying to get a good process here. They're just trying to say and be angry.
Yeah.
For it. Everything else that happens in the game, we've talked about this a million times. Big games, what we want to do is let it. I even heard a pundit say, I really liked how he let it run, but he then got a few mistakes wrong.
That's the whole point.
Let it run is basically just not officiating the game. And what happens every time in a big game that officiating doesn't happen, chaos reigns. So when he doesn't send off Kai Havertz and he books 3 Newcastle players instead
that's fucking stupid. I mean, the
game's over.
The 3 Newcastle bookings were fucking stupid. I mean, I'm still on the fence about the red card for Havertz. I think it's a little reckless, but I don't think it's. I think because they slow it down and because that's the way they look to officiate these things. Once you do that, that's for me what they have to go by. And I get what you were saying last night, and you messaged this morning, right? I get that piece, but at the same time, if they're going to slow it down, then they have to go use that information. And so I'm to be fair, to be honest, I mean, I wouldn't have argued either way, right? Yellow card, fine. Red card, fine. And I'd have been like, okay, that feels like, because it's not obvious for me.
I've got personal feelings in the matter of that challenge, in that I feel like that's of everything that happens in football, the challenge that should have been wiped out of existence 10 years ago was the late challenge on the clearance, because it's the worst challenge in football. Like that you're not trying to block the ball, you're not trying to do anything, you're just trying to do a man. Like there's nothing in Kai Havertz's brain other than I'm doing him. Like it's malicious intent to try and really hurt someone. And
he's even bad at that. He's even bad at that then.
Because what's the best that ever happens for Kai Havertz from doing that challenge?
Is that Newcastle gets a throw. That's about it.
But
that's not how. That's how footballers think sometimes. I don't want to say I'm not trying to compare my experience of playing football to what they do, but that is how you think sometimes. Is that
we're saying it's okay because he didn't break his ankle. But at some point, someone will break their ankle. And this is that whole point of like the football game has a duty in a thing to say, I don't want a 13-year-old doing that to another 13-year-old. I don't want a 15-year-old doing like that's something that just shouldn't be part of football. Just get it gone. There's no need for it at all. And to go in a malicious way, like if you were in that first 5, 6, 7, 10 rows and me and you were there, I would be holding you back because you'd be trying to get on the field.
This is true.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's the thing.
This
where
is true.
It's like,
but I also
it's
at the same time,
not part of the game.
Yeah,
get rid of it.
At the same time, I still think if that was insert random Bournemouth player that we don't give a shit about, I don't think we have the same outrage because we are Tottenham fans.
I think I probably do. Just as I'm saying, I've got some personal things in that I just feel like that is the worst thing that like. And if I'm a pro, I'm like, mate, you just try to hurt someone. Like it's just not
stupid. I get it.
It's just not on.
I get it.
And then to wonder why everyone's outraged about it, and then start booking them, like joke.
Yeah.
And then everything else is just there for me. And none of these things would have happened if it just didn't have Havertz off.
Yeah. So Gimenez does
even
not punch
even probably the goal. Even probably the goal, he probably happily disallows it, but he's probably in the back of his mind, I should have sort of Havertz off, so I better let him have this goal.
There's a bit of that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like everything is influenced because of that. Yeah. And therefore, it just makes the whole thing a mockery.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because it's all rubbish. It's all rubbish. Like Bruno should have been sent off a dozen times. But he's just taken license to go on and do whatever I want.
I can do what the fuck. Yeah, exactly. Agreed.
How can you possibly send me off after that? So stuff you.
Yeah.
Kind of in a weird way, like Bruno for doing it.
Mike says, "Do we get rid of random forearm smashes in the head?" Yeah, that's probably a good idea. It's probably a good idea to get rid of that stuff.
It's that same old game. It's the same game, right? If anybody mentions the Bruno stuff without referencing the sequencing of the order, they're just as bad. Like, it's just, do you know what I mean? You're not helping the situation. You're not going to help us get out of this situation if you're just talking about that. Like the game state was that the game went at that moment, and everything else after that was just nonsense.
Outside of that, there's not much to take from the game. I mean, other than it's one of these games where not loads of good things happen, I guess.
Well, this is the same thing as the Liverpool, but they haven't got the difference between Liverpool and Arsenal is that Liverpool have players that can break lines. Odegaard's the best player at Arsenal for breaking lines, but their players are constantly looking to break lines and get through and do what they can do, which offsets the fact that their fullbacks don't pin teams. Arsenal's fullbacks do not pin teams.
Yeah.
Arsenal have not got players that break lines, so everything is completely reliant on those two wingers. Everything. And Newcastle are not stupid. They just doubled up. They doubled up and at times trebled up in that they let them have the whole middle of the pitch. You know, Bruno and Longstaff just basically played as auxiliaries, like right DM, left DM, and just said, okay. Every time Saka couldn't get anywhere near this. He just kept cutting back because he was like, there's three people in front of me, I can't do it. Martinelli kept trying it. He kept trying to just do what he could to just get past Livramento, especially second half, but he just couldn't do it. Like, they just kept fouling him.
Yeah.
that was their way of tackling Martinelli, but at least he tried to get past them. But they've got no 1v1 specialist and they've got no playmaker in the middle, so they come up against a team like Newcastle and they can't do nothing. That's the only thing that like disappoints me in this game is all we're talking about officiating, but it's a bad performance from Arsenal. Luckily though,
luckily they've got Burnley, Brentford, Wolves and Luton in the next 4.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have to get a piece of that pie. I mean, that's two bad performances, not bad, but there's 2 average performances from Nketiah. Is Nketiah someone that you're looking to bring in, or someone that do you think is a good idea? 4 fixtures, is that enough?
I just think when when it's bad, this was a bad performance. Like Arteta's not given us anything about how bad he feels about the performances, but this is really bad.
He's talking about the refereeing, that's why.
Like after the 1-0, what about the fact that there's not a shot on target? Nothing.
Yeah.
0 shots on target. They've got to do something about that. So you never know. You never know whether things will be changed up, whether Trossard comes in, whether Fabio Vieira comes in. We don't know the deal on Odegaard yet. We got a week to try and work that out. We've got Europe to come through. So how I feel about where to go with it, Saka's still, I've got a hit now to take Saka in because I took out Botman, not Sheff, because I wanted the stronger bench, which didn't happen because Simicast came on. So I can't afford to go straight there. But I'm not sure I'd be happy on captaining Saka this week, whereas I thought Saka's still really good. He's still a really good captain option because I actually feel like, if anything, they're completely reliant on those wingers.
He's still
do well.
Still penalty taker as well.
What do you think?
As far as we know. Well, as far as we know, the first penalty taker. Yeah. Or if he's not the penalty taker, you'd assume he's pretty much been a part of the goals already.
We're going to have to roll the dice this weekend. Like, obviously Salah, because he's at home and he's so consistent, is the obvious, but you're not coming off a great Salah performance to say that Salah's definitely the one you want. We don't know if Haaland's going to be fit or not. And then Saka's just come off a stinker, and a series of stinkers, not one or two, like a series of stinkers.
Yeah.
And then we don't know anything about Son because it's tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Mind you, if he's out, if Haaland is out, would you consider another City asset?
I don't think I need to. I feel it's weird. I don't think I need to.
So would you consider a Foden or
as captain away at Chelsea?
Let's talk about Man City. Off you go.
Fucking Doku, honestly. So let's talk. I've just poured myself a fireball. I saw this game coming up, so I just poured myself another fireball. Number 4, this is. So I'll do one more for the last return he does. So this was when this started. So so I knew he'd starting, and so I've come home. I needed to go in the loft. I needed to go in the attic or whatever you want to call it, whatever you call it. And I went in there, and
it sounds like it's going to get dark. Like,
it is, mate. It is, mate. I was up there way too long because, literally, I got up there and then I got a notification come through that Doku scored. And literally the only thing I could do was just tweet out ha 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 because that was funny. The pain, man. The pain of every single notification. I
just poured the worst beer on it.
Sorry, man. I apologise. We'll do a mug giveaway after this. After this game, we'll do a mug giveaway. So if you haven't retweeted the original tweet that's getting people here, do it now, and you'll be in a chance of winning the mug.
So and then the loft.
I'm up in the loft, mate. And I'm just getting notifications like every 2 or 3 minutes. I'm up there. I'm just getting. Especially those first 3, right? Like those first 3 goals come in pretty quick. Doku goal, Doku assist, Doku goal, then given as a Kanji assist. So I've got so rare notifications, and the first thing that came through was like Jeremy Doku scores a goal. Like, you got to be fucking kidding me! 2 goals and 1 assist in like the last 5 minutes. This is just.
Paint the picture for me. Is the phone? Is it vibrate? Is it noise? Like, what are we getting?
It's in front of me. It's just in front of me on the floor. I'm basically on my. I'm basically on my hands and knees in the loft, and it's it's literally like I'm the guy in that video we've been seeing all week.
Yeah, enjoyable.
If you've seen the video, you know. If you haven't, don't. But it's literally like that.
Oh god!
But I mean, obviously, thankfully, then I
How
get
long were
the
you
notification.
in the loft?
Well, only like 10 minutes. Like, look at where these goals went in, man. Only like 10 minutes. And then obviously Foden comes on at half time. Like the Haaland captaincy injury. Like, honestly, I couldn't give a shit. Like, because you can't say something's a bad decision based on someone getting injured in a game. Like, it just happens, right? It just happens. Fine, you can be happy that it happened. You can be pissed off that it happened, but don't go giving shit to people because they captained Haaland because he got injured. Like, he could have scored a hat trick this second half if he'd have been on the pitch. It was just a constant stream of attacks. Anyway, Foden comes on and I'm like, yes, Foden, yes. Doku assist. Oh, fuck off, man. Like, literally leave me alone. like just leave me alone. And I mean, he was great. He was absolutely brilliant. Like, honestly, his speed on the ball is like something I haven't seen.
It is.
It's genuinely scary how good. I mean, the movement for his goal as well. I mean, just when he brings it inside for that first, before he passes it to Rodri, like it's so quick. It's so quick. It's ridiculous.
So quick.
And then obviously, I mean, he obviously shanks it into the far corner because that's the first way to get on your way to 22 points is to shank it into the fucking corner.
Oh, he's not clean on any of it, is he? But
no,
this is
like the silver. Like, and to don't get me wrong, the Silva assist for the fifth goal, like it's a great ball, but then Silva like dribbles from like 30 yards and then dinks it over, and I was a bit pissed off that they didn't clear it off the line, to be honest.
Yeah,
fucking referee going, yeah, it had already gone in. It's your goal, Bernardo. It's your goal. Don't worry.
I genuinely was watching it thinking, oh, maybe it's a Nunez goal, Silva assist, and it's not another Doku. But
mate, thank God for Oscar Bob, eh?
We talked at the start of the season. We did. This is let me talk the positive for the pod. Is we did a death of the fullbacks pod at the start of the season, and the crossing was done. And this is it. Like, we talked about what's Pep going to do next. How does he lead? What he's done is 1v1 specialist. This is what the teams, Tottenham, we've seen it. We're crying out for it. Liverpool, as I said, Luis Diaz is probably the closest they've got that can do it. Arsenal have not got enough 1v1. They have. They've got Doku. And I think we can expect this more and more against these teams that are going to sit in, is that Doku is going to be the one that comes on. And within about 5-10 minutes, you immediately were thinking, this isn't good for Haaland. Like, as much as it's like you didn't know that Doku wasn't going to play, I also now, in reflection, thought, man, maybe if I knew Doku was going to play, maybe I would have gone. Maybe I'd have upped my thoughts on Salah a little bit more than I would have Haaland. Maybe, because he's not great for him. You want the guy that just floats crosses in for Haaland. That's what you want, and he's not that guy.
I mean, he still had more XGI than Doku in the first half.
That big chance.
He had a couple of big chances, especially the one at the back post. Govinda's just called me and said, Adam, you are wrong. Haaland has never scored a second half goal in a rout. Well, okay. He's also struggled against Bournemouth as well in the past. Yeah. With the sample size being like 3 games.
It all could have happened. It all, honestly.
It is what it is, man. That's quote Alon, that's FPL, baby, isn't it?
Yeah, as soon as he took that little bit, and it looked like it was nothing. It genuinely looked like it was a nothing thing. I was like, he ain't coming back second half. They'll just rest him. This game's done. And they did. They still managed to find ways to concede goals, which they did.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have.
I don't know whether I'm happy about that one. I don't know whether I was happy about that from an FPL point of view. I celebrate.
Minus 1 point off Doku.
Exactly. Well, I celebrated it, mate. I tweeted. I celebrated it. It was like the best part of my afternoon. It was literally the highlight of my 3 p.m.
We have to take note that Bernardo Silva is playing really, really well.
Yeah.
We have to take note of it. We probably don't need to do what we did last season. Well, I certainly did last season, which I ended up buying him, and then it doesn't do that stuff. But we do have to think about how he potentially impacts other assets and whether they'll play every week, what will happen. He actually, even a way, allows them to rotate a little bit more if he's playing well when you put him in the front 3, or take others off. obviously Alvarez doesn't return and didn't. I know, like I've seen a load of things saying his XGI was this and that. Well, they won 6-1. Of course, his XGI was going to be okay.
Well, his XGI was big because he had Haaland's big chance in the first half. That's why.
Yeah,
they literally shared that same number.
I didn't watch that game, and I obviously didn't own Alvarez, and I was scared of Alvarez going into that game because he was like 40% owned. But I didn't. When I was watching it, I wasn't petrified. I was petrified of Doku every time he got the ball. Even Foden, some of the runs into it, you thought he might get in there, but other than that, you were like Foden, Silva, Doku. That's where it seemed like the goals would come from, and guess what they did? Yeah. I just, my only thing I'll take forward from it is when I think it's a Doku game, it might put me slightly off
from a Haaland cap. Okay.
Might do. I still think, like, if he scores Erling, then it could have easily been fine. And Doku will know that his way into this team regularly is also making sure that Haaland does well.
Yes, very true.
You know what I mean? As Doku gets more and more into it, you don't think him and Erling are going to go, do you know what? It'd be quite good if we had a bit of a partnership here.
Agreed.
He's not going to just think, oh, I'm here, so you don't have to worry about Erling. Like, they'll find a way.
Agreed. I mean, there's a comment. There was a comment here. I just missed it. What did I say? Why did I transfer out Doku before Bournemouth? So I brought in Foden. So I wanted to, if you were late, brought in Foden for a hit. Skip back. I brought in Foden. Fancied Foden. You got 6 points. Foden did well. Just should have just wish he'd started the game. Okay, so let's give away mugs.
Come on.
So we'll do a random draw. So if you listen to the podcast, we're going to break just for a second and then we'll come back. That's good enough for that. And just so I can edit that bit, that's fine. I gave you my ID, my team ID earlier. If anyone doesn't remember it, it's 1282. I would like the first person to message in the chat with the exact time that I transferred Doku out, please, and you will win a mug. Guaranteed. Go. I'm going to check now myself. First person, literally the first person. Go. The first person to...
I love this.
This is brilliant, isn't it?
You can be weird just clicking the random
stuff. You can check my transfers. You go down to my transfer history and you can check the exact time that I transferred out Doku. If you can tell me that exact time that I transferred out Doku, then you win a mug. The first person.
Got one.
Wrong.
The
first one was
10:57.
Wrong.
Is the second one right? Greg Frost,
nope.
10:57?
Wrong.
Hold on. Is it right for their time zone?
It can't be, no. It can't be. I'm literally looking... Well, I mean, whatever. I can go with time zones I can work with. Time zones I can work with. So it looks like it's going to be Brian, right? Brian, 6:59 a.m., which would be 6:59 Eastern time or something like that. So, Brian, you are first. I've got it on my screen as 10:59.
Yeah.
I transferred out Foden to Doku. It's quite clear there. There was a good... I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, I'd be guessing like 10:58, 10:59, all this sort of shit if I could do. But Brian, drop me a...
I should have just guessed it.
Yeah, I should have done. But that's why I gave out the ID, mate, earlier. So, Brian, 1 minute before the deadline, exactly that.
Do we need Brian to prove where he is in the world that it would have been 6:59?
No, mate. Well, he will when he sends me his address so that I can get a mug to him. So, just send me a message on Twitter, X @AboveAverageFPL, Instagram @AboveAverageFPL. Send me a message on TikTok @AboveAverage. I don't even go on there very often, but I'm not going to make you send your address publicly. So just send me a message and I'll get you a mug sent across, Brian. So this is the mug.
What about the other mugs you said?
I said 2 mugs. We're going to do a draw for the other one.
Oh, can't we give it to the second place?
No. It doesn't work.
Such a
So
Nazi on the mugs.
Whoa. It's not that bad, man. So one of these mugs is coming to you, Brian. The second mug is going to be randomly drawn to anyone that retweeted earlier.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's all fair. I don't know if this is the right. So there's the tweet right there. I have to make sure I'm on the right page. Hold on. Am I on the right page? I think it's this one. My mouse there now. Yeah, I can see that. Cool. The worst game week in FPL history. The worst transfer in FPL history. What I'll do is I'll very quickly copy that link into the chat. Where is the chat gone? I've lost the chat. This is the chat. Mug. Look at what you've got on this. VAR on Brian. Mug Nazi. What is this? Oh man. There's the tweet. Go retweet it. I'll give you another like 30 seconds or something like that to tweet it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move into Mug Nazi. Jesus. Take a breather, guys. Take a breather, guys. We've still got 1, 2, 3, 4 games still to go, which we'll probably rush through because we're past an hour now. I've had my 4 fireballs. So I need to put this tweet here into the chat. And this, while I'm doing this is me showing you that I'm basically doing this. I'm putting this into here.
What do you do if Brian wins this one too?
Oh my God, if Brian wins, this would be incredible.
Save and post it, I suppose.
There you go. There's the tweet. So I'll just load that tweet up. So you can see that. There it is. Da-da-da. Must follow me. Average.
I just noted, by the way, is if it turns out Brian's not in the right time zone, Jamie Clark was next after that.
Thank you. Yeah, you wait till I have to send this to like Manhattan or something like that, like the Jersey Shore.
Jamie, if you message me while he's mucking around with this, and send me your address, I'll send you some coasters.
Oh, what a man! What a man!
There you
go. Cool. Okay, I'll tell you what then. Because you're going to do that, I'll draw 2 names. The first person gets a mug. Second person gets coasters.
Do it. We'll give everything.
Give it all away. Give everything away. So you don't need a picture or anything. You must follow me. Do they have to follow you as well? No, you've semi-retired, haven't you?
Yeah.
No, do 1 winner because then I can just I'll redo the winner. So let's just continue on that. What the fuck is going on here? 69 entries. Hey.
Oh, hello.
Okay, cool.
Gotta have 2 for that.
Yeah, we can do that. Let's continue. First person gets a mug.
Yeah.
We don't mess around. We don't mess around. There's no suspense here. We just click the button and go. FPL access. I'll send you a mug, Sam. So I met Sam in Edinburgh. I met Sam in Edinburgh for the FPL meets.
Convenient local deliveries.
Convenient. He's in like York or something like that.
That's basically
Scotland. It's like northern England somewhere nice like York, I think. So Sam, he has to message. He has to let us know he's in the chat. That's the thing, though. Is he in the chat?
Whoa.
Is he in the chat? Is Sam in the chat? I don't even know if Sam's in the chat. Does he have to be in the chat?
It's your rules, mate. You're the mug Nazi.
Oh, does he have to be in the chat? Chat, tell me whether he has to be in the chat. This is not part of the podcast, so it's fine. We can just chill for like 5 minutes.
Well, it's still part of the YouTube.
Yeah, that's cool. They can skip. There's timestamps, right? As soon as they see mug giveaway, they're skipping this shit anyway. So they're not here.
I don't know. I think people want the mug Nazi content.
Mug Nazi content.
Someone said yes. Someone said yes, he is in the chat.
Yes, he is in the chat. Where is he?
Yeah. Oh, he has to be here. He has to be here, that's what it's saying.
Oh, he has to be here.
I think he has to be here. I think.
Dear. Where is he?
I think he has to be in the chat. That was the previous rules. He had to be in the chat.
It was. You did say he had to be in the chat. Yes, he has to be here.
He has to be in the chat. Redraw.
Oh dear.
Maybe Sam will get some coasters.
Maybe Sam will get some coasters. Maybe. Redraw that. FPL Vendetta. Who is FPL? I don't even know who FPL Vendetta is. So anyone could literally claim to be this person.
FPL Vendetta.
I don't know what to do at this point. Who is FPL Vendetta? Because most people they won't have their names in.
I reckon redraw 5 people, and then the first person that says that they're in the chat gets the mug, and everyone else gets coasters.
And everyone else gets coasters.
Yeah.
Okay. So then
Oh, Sai's got to be in the chat.
Sai's in the chat. Sai's definitely not in the chat.
I've definitely not seen him in the chat.
Sai's not in the chat. Sai's in the Discord, but he's not in the chat.
Uh-oh.
This is disgraceful, Sai.
Redraw.
Redraw. YP FPL. I don't even know who that is. What? None of these names are making.
Redraw. If you're in the chat, just chat hi. Put something in there so we know you're in the chat. Redraw.
Is the mug? I'm FPL evil fuck. Okay, fine.
Who's doing these? Redraw.
Oh, fuck off.
Sports Science is in the chat. I've seen him.
Yeah, but only at the start. Was he not here at the start for the?
I think that's technical rules. I think that technically wins. He's been in the chat. He's been in the chat.
Right. So the first person out of these 5 people here to message me gets a mug. Everyone else gets coasters. That's what we're going to do. Hold on. Yeah? No.
Yeah, we've got Yulo Gio is saying that he is YPFPL. If you message under YPFPL, then you get it. If not, Sam gets
it. Send me a message on Twitter right now. Now. You've got like 45 seconds. I'm going into my DMs here. Don't want to do that.
Oh yeah, we don't do that.
That was dangerous.
You could have shown Flapjack's kebab if you were careful there.
I've probably done that already. No way. I'm genuinely okay.
Let's get back to games. They'll work it out.
Burnley versus Palace.
And
I'm now literally just checking my DMs to make sure nobody's. If anyone pauses that right then I'm fucked. But no, I think I'm okay. Yeah, we're okay. We're safe. We're not getting cancelled. Not that there would be anything to cancel me, but
yet. Palace still keep cleans against the bad teams. It's what they do. It's what Roy does. He's really good at it. It's good matchups, home or away. He's good at it.
Yeah, I was quite surprised away from home, but at home, I just expect it. I just expect them to run out with a clean, but
he's really good at it. that is it, isn't it? Really, isn't it? Like, and their next 2 games are Everton home, Luton away. That could be 2 more.
Yeah, I mean, if you're only conceding 1 XG away, that's decent. And like, none of these are big chances, right? Either, so they're just. And offensively, they're going to get better. They're going to get better. Eze's back. Elise's close.
Yep. And we've got international break coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah. Everton home, Luton away, West Ham away, Bournemouth at home. That's the next 4. If you want the defence, it's now. Because then you move into City, Liverpool, Brighton, Chelsea, Brentford, Arsenal. It's now if you want them. But you're still looking at your DMs, aren't you?
I am. No. Is it YPFPL? It is eulogy while you are. Well done. You've got a mug. He said, "Yo, haha! I'm in the chat on YouTube." Had to frantically load Twitter.
Fair play.
I will just say yes. Send me your address.
Fair play. Well done,
man. Sorry, carry on.
And YP is easier to pronounce than eulogy.
Well done, YP.
Well done, YP.
How about taking a name, FPL Doku. Fuck's sake.
Forever. Oh, Sam,
sorry.
You were so close, mate. You were so close. You can have some coasters. Eze. Oh, mate, I can't go back so soon, but we talked about talismans. Talismans have done well.
Shall I just break my team up and just go to talisman?
It works.
Like I feel like I've been punished today, but if I just get the talisman and then just trust them for 25 weeks, maybe I'll be okay.
In a way, it's easier to jump onto Eze than it is to jump onto the defenders, because you jump on the defenders and you're like, do I need to get off them? But if you could get still your Mitchell or your Gahey that's still cheap and just leave them as your 4th defender, I think they're really, really viable. I think you've got Anderson cheap because you got on early with him. I think now he's way too expensive to go on to somebody, unless you're looking at it and thinking Chelsea. So there's a world in which you think that, Chelsea, a Palace defender works now, and then you move on to. So even if you went cheap, Colwill could be the one. James hopefully is the one. Any of those type of players. But there's quite a nice little segue of going a Palace defender onto a. And even if the keeper issue, I'm seriously considering it. Johnston now, for these next 4, is he just that much better than Areola for it? But the problem is fixtures are pretty good for West Ham. It's just whether you can trust West Ham in it. How do you go against Areola home to Forest when he's going to be a good 40-odd% owned?
It's going to be a challenge, especially when Palace are just home to Everton, who aren't terrible attacking wise. When they need to be, they can be pretty decent.
And we have to also just consider it's Burnley. And what is Company? I feel like with Company that he's just permanently telling his boys, "I won loads of titles at Man City." Like it's almost talks in his press conferences.
I think at the same time, people just expected them to play in a way that felt like they'd just be better. And then you just look at the players and you go, actually, they're just shit players.
But he's like I know this league, but they don't know this league, and they need to learn this league. And you're like, that's all good, mate, but I don't think you should just be like, they just stay with you forever. Like, if you're just getting smashed up every week,
yeah,
maybe you're not the one. But all the time that he's talking in that way, I'm like, keep targeting him.
Yeah.
Which is where, like I said, if you've got Arsenal players, you got to play them this week. And if you've got spare transfers, and a lot of people have got spare transfers, why wouldn't you? Like, a lot of people have got 2 transfers.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do with the second one. I would be tempted to just get an extra Arsenal and roll the other and then see what happens afterwards. Because as poor attacking as Arsenal have been this season, and I know there's lots of stats out there that say that Arsenal are getting about the same points, getting about the same XG as what they had previously and all that stuff. But you can watch the games, like, you kind of know it's not as fun as it was. I'd almost bet they play Burnley, it'll get fun again. Having 2 pieces of the attack against Burnley is probably a good deal next week.
Agreed.
Other than that, what would you take from it?
Not much else.
Not much else.
Not much else.
Everton, Brighton.
It's like he's pointing at me.
Yeah, look, that's a really good picture.
I know. He's like pointing at me. He's like, say, Adam. He's like, yeah, you said I was a championship level defender. If that, I still believe that.
It's like Mikalenko's pointing at you.
I still believe that. He needed 2 bites to get his goal.
That's funny.
I think the bigger thing here is I mean, like, Everton surprised me they didn't create so much, but Brighton here, are they now just dysfunctional? Is there just something wrong here? Is there just a lack of balance now that whilst Estupiñán's out? Like, what's going wrong? Is it just injuries?
There's no good excuses for it, is there? Because
not this week in particular. Like, of any weeks, this would probably be a week where they don't get away with it, right?
No Carabao.
No.
No reason.
They've had a week off.
This, we've all been sort of tempering certain views on them because of that. And this is one where you look at it and you go, well, that's not very good. The only goal they score is a ridiculous own goal from Ashley Young.
Yeah.
It's not very good. 0.5 XG. It's not like Ashley Young's chance obviously it's 0 XG, but it's not like if that was a shot, it would be 0.3 XG. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like, one of those ones where he's tapped it in, but there was a guy behind him that would have tapped it in for 0.8 XG.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
It is just bad.
I took a punt on a Dingra. He's played enough minutes. He looks okay. He's in the right positions, but
you've only spent 5 mil, right? So you're not so fast.
5.0.
Yeah.
You're not he's not your make or breaker each week. Matoma, obviously, the good part about it for this is that obviously because they concede every week, like no clean sheets. All Matoma needed was the assist in this game, and he got 2 bonus.
Yeah.
So that was 7 points is a fantastic outcome this week.
Yeah.
For any player. So you got Matoma, you got 7 points out of this. It's amazing. That's the good part about the attackers. It's whether you trust them, whether you bring them in as well. It's very easy to look at this next game as Sheffield United and think I should have some of that. But maybe they're just not very good. Maybe they're not as good as they were. Maybe we got so used to seeing +2 XG every week.
It was religious, wasn't it? It was just like one after the other after the other.
Yeah.
And it does seem to have just tailed a little bit, which isn't ideal.
It's really confusing, isn't it? Like if Haaland was out, I was looking at fixtures and I was like, if Haaland's out, Ferguson looks like the one, like, as a 1 week punt, really, as a striker. If you ask me Ferguson or Nketiah, I kind of like to do Ferguson, but who plays?
Yeah.
And who stays on? It's really difficult. Really, really difficult. So Matoma's just a solid play.
Yeah.
Everybody else, straight avoid.
Agreed.
Albeit Dunk, like how unlucky is Dunk? That goal was fantastic. That volley was so good.
Such a good finish.
I mean, that's,
to be fair though, that's one in a million for a centre back. Not million, but
yeah. He it sounds ridiculous for a team that haven't kept any cleans, but but there's something, where next week if you wanted a punt on a defender, you'd look at Dunk maybe over one of your Palace defenders.
Okay.
And you can see him hauling. You can see him doing it. But I'd probably just be dullard and go Palace defence if I was looking for a cheapo.
Moving on.
Or the other cheapo, 2 cheapos in the next game, Sheffield United Wolves.
Go for it, mate. I'm going to leave you for like 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Oh. So when we were talking about last week on the team selection, there was a few comments about Aït-Nouri playing in midfield. So I'm not sure who the guys were for the chat tonight, but you did pique my interest when you were looking at it. I looked and I was like, oh God, his heat map's fantastic. He's in really good positions. And like he ended up with like 0.5 XG from this game. Massive chance. That's the big chance that you're seeing there. The question is like, where do you get Wolves clean sheets from? Other than that, from this game, like it's an absolute banger from Archer. Look at that with a 0.03 XG. So good. And then obviously the pen. I tweeted this morning, that's the best pen there's ever been. Like 100 minutes, pouring rain. Ollie Norwood just decides I was going to lever it. That pen was... I was just saying, Adam.
No, he just smashed it. It's a great penalty. Sorry. For anyone that's watching that, I just needed a piss. That's all. It's fine.
Smashed. But other than that, yeah, Aït-Nouri was interesting. Obviously, Hwang gets the assist. It's quite a nonsense assist.
Well, Aït-Nouri should score, right?
He should score.
He should score. He shouldn't miscontrol it the way he did.
In good positions. I'm not sure it's not an own goal. That I don't think it was going in. Like it.
I think that's why they didn't give the assist immediately. I felt like that's why they didn't give the assist immediately.
I just think it was an own goal. Like it went in the corner and
And
it
it hit him.
shot and then it hit him and went towards the goal. Well, I'm like, well, that must be an own goal. But yeah, I just feel like that's one of those where it's like if Sheffield United beat Wolves on a 3 o'clock game. They're like, oh, I'm not over officiating this. We'll just call it what it is. How must Wolves feel that they've had the same penalty given against them 2 weeks running, where a guy's fainted at a thing and then
It's
not
so
made the
bad.
tackle?
It's so bad. I said it last week. I said like they've been absolutely screwed by decisions all season, and he's not helping. Like I feel like Gary. I feel like Gary O'Neill. He's just like, if I have to stand up and do an interview where I have to talk about the ref again, I'll be fucking fuming. Like, I do feel for him.
They should be making the statement today.
Yeah. If anyone's making statements, it should be Wolves.
Did you see that Gary O'Neill said I sat down with the ref and he said it, and he just repeatedly told me why it was a penalty.
He told him.
He said he sat down with the ref and the ref just repeatedly told him why it was a penalty.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I can't think of a justification for it.
Don't know. Yeah. He said that's what he said. That's what he said.
I don't get
Anyway,
it.
well done, the Blades. Get some
They
points.
finally got some points. Yeah, they're still going down.
Yeah.
Last game.
Last game.
I'm almost annoyed that Toffolo got 2 assists because I was watching this game and I thought he was unbelievably good. Like anytime I looked up and saw like Bailey or whether it was Diaby or wherever else, like he was phenomenal. Like defensively, he was phenomenal and he was always there. And when that second goal goes in, and I was like, who got the assist? Who got the assist? Oh, it's Toffolo. Fuck. I mean, like that's what's making the headlines now from an FPL perspective is the 2 assists, not the fact that he was brilliant all game. And fine, he gets the 3 bonus because he gets the 2 assists and he does all the good stuff. But like Villa were just, I mean, like Forest should have won this game by about 5 goals because they should have had at least 5 or 6 chances that were either nullified by a lack of a pass from a midfielder,
Yeah,
or whoever did pass it just gave them offside. They were offside 9 times. Like I haven't seen that sort of shit since we had Jermaine Defoe.
yeah,
It was terrible.
I mean, I think this is one of those games where you look at it. If you just looked at the end result and you say, "Oh, it's 2-0 Forest, but it's a smash and grab because it's 1.26 XG against 0.4, whatever it is."
This doesn't tell the story.
I don't think it tells a story.
No.
And even that second half, I think what this showed for me with Villa is Villa have a lot of really good runners. They're quite direct attackers. They run hard. There's not a lot of craft. The Buendia injury, I feel like it hurts them. I feel like if Buendia was playing today and they had somebody that was just nice on the ball, then this might have been a bit easier. But when obviously Zaniolo goes off, I think that's one of the reasons why Zaniolo probably plays a little bit as well. That it's not just runners, you know. Is Cash is just a runner. Like we've talked about it many times, he's more likely to score, he's not likely to cross. Albeit he can get assists, but they're normally from cutbacks and all those type of things. So they just became default here, where it just was like, just give the ball to Dina because he's literally the only person that can cross here, and just let him spam crosses in that end up with frantic box stuff.
But again, that was all part of the game plan, and it was all part of what made this game like good for Forest was the fact that Dina was, I guess, for lack of a better term, when I used to play football, it was called cheating, basically. You were trying to cheat your position by being 5, 10, 15 yards further forward than you'd expect to be. And so he was always in good positions when in the attacking phase of play. And he looked good. Dina looked good on the ball. Looked really good. In fact, he made Aina look real stupid in the first half with a little Cruyff turn. I did enjoy that. But like, I'm assuming this is how they're going to play against most teams. They'll have to settle a little bit against some of the better teams for sure. Because if that is your setup against a City or against a Tottenham or against an Arsenal or against a Liverpool in particular, like you lose 7-0. Like you literally lose 7-0 because you just create those chances.
a so high line.
Ridiculous. Like Tottenham versus Southampton high. It was like every time. But the problem is that, and not a problem, but they were actually getting the offsides. So it was actually
just
working.
Just an early call. Obviously, game week 13, Man City got Liverpool. Tottenham are home to Villa.
Yes.
On the Sunday.
It's not an early call, mate. We've been talking about it on Twitter earlier on. We were saying it's
like right now, Son is just like easy captain for that week.
He has to be. I mean, like, and don't get me wrong. The counter is like, do you think Emery? The counter that came on Twitter was, you think Emery's going to set up the same against Tottenham as he do against Forest? Yeah, probably not.
I do think he will. I don't think he.
You just think he'll roll it out
other ways.
Okay.
I don't think he particularly know. I don't think he's even got the clientele to necessarily do it other ways. And I think he knows, like, they've got to try and. I don't really feel like he's a man that sets up a draw. So I feel like he would just go at it. But their line tight. Well, he went to James's Park, didn't he? And got smashed up doing it.
Yeah, absolutely smashed up.
So who's to say?
I feel like that's a lesson, though. That's got to be a lesson, right?
I don't know, mate. Like, do you get lessons when you're like 50?
Well, we always but we always say that these coaches are better than us, and you know, if we can see this shit, then they can see this shit, and we sometimes do forget that when they get exposed, that they do actually work on it and actually change the way they play a little bit. But
right now, especially
normally defeats as well are going to trigger this sort of stuff.
Early kickoff, game week 13, like, just I'm keeping it there in my brain that Chris Wood was breaking the line on them. And he, you know, like, he was causing them a lot of problems.
Right,
they're an issue. They're an issue, you know, for away from there. Obviously, we talk about how good they are at home, and they are a fortress at home. They're not this.
They were better today. I thought Forest were better today, generally, as well.
I thought Forest were good. I thought Forest were really good.
This timeline really undersells the way the game went.
Honestly, if like, it wasn't Chris Wood today, was it? It was Awoniyi was up top. But if Awoniyi was fit, like, he couldn't make the whole game. But if he was fit today, he could have destroyed them today.
Yeah.
That's, you know, one of the reasons why obviously he came in rather than playing the others. But yeah, it's a problem. I don't really like the idea that I'm triple Villa, and Cash is quite expensive now, isn't he?
He'll be expensive until next week when he gets like 7 points, and then you'll be fine.
Home to Fulham.
Yeah,
I think you've got to play him.
Yeah,
I think you've got to play him,
especially with Villa's home form as well. I mean, like for Villa at home compared to Fulham. Can't even talk. Villa at home compared to Villa away is like night and day.
Yeah,
at the moment, it's crazy.
You've got, same as me. You've got, well, no, yeah, sort of same as me. In 4 good defenders in this week. So you've got Anderson.
Yes.
You've got Tsimikas.
Yes. Cash and
Sheff.
And Kabore. We've got like 5.
Which of those 4 though are you currently benching?
What, next week? I'll play Anderson at home. I'll play Cash at home. I'll play Tsimikas at home. And I'll play Sheff.
Play all 4?
I don't see why not. I mean, Chelsea have got City, so I'm not playing Palmer.
You've also got 3 strikers.
Yeah, but one of them's potentially injured as well. I mean, it could change, right?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? If Haaland's out for 1 week, do you play the 4th? It feels really meh playing a 4th defender instead of Haaland.
It does in this season in particular.
But the defenders, there's a lot of good games for defenders next week.
So I guess like bus team. I'm just looking at bus team now. So yeah, I guess bus team's a bit of a challenge. Not
in a bad way though, is it?
No, it's not terrible. I mean, Yeah, so I'm shares on my bench obviously right now because that's where I had him. So who do I bring him in for? Simicast, Cash, Anderson, Salah, Maddison at Wolves? No. Soberslide, no. Foden, no. Alvarez, no. Watkins, no. Haaland, no. I mean, like, I'd expect Newcastle to keep a clean sheet away at Bournemouth, but I don't know. And I probably still want to make transfers, to be honest, because I've got no Arsenal. Like, I've got no Arsenal. That feels like I have to do something there. I have to get a piece of that somehow. Now, if Haaland's injured, then that's a bonus. But
it's tough
to
decision.
Bonus because you've almost got to find a way to get him back in a few weeks' time.
It's honestly, it's really, really tough this week. We're going to be.
The worst thing is I've got to try and slog back from 3.25 million or whatever.
You don't need to slog back next week. You just there's weeks and weeks for us to slog back on it. Week before international break. You always want to have a good week before international break, don't you? Because it's
you don't want to be able to. You want to take a hit. You don't want to take a hit into an international break. I always feel like if you can roll a transfer, like I could roll, but then I'd have no Arsenal at home to Burnley, which would kind of be me pinning all my hopes on Burnley doing something against Arsenal, which kind of feels like double-barreled.
Yeah,
it's not. That's the kind of hedge I don't mind. I don't necessarily mind the FPL versus real life hedge. In FPL hedge, I'm not about that. But the FPL versus in real life hedge, I can deal with that.
I wonder if it looked like a bit of a shoulder knock or something on Cash. So that Cash and Haaland might make life interesting if they have got a few knocks. 5th fireball of the night. Well done, mate.
Yeah, well, 5 returns for Doku, 5 fireballs.
Yeah, but we'll find out because they've all got European games as well.
Yep.
Vaping, fireballs.
I just don't care anymore, man.
We're done.
27 points between us. 27 points, mate. Who gives a fuck, honestly? 27 points. Like Doku got 22.
It is what it is, mate. It's a cruel game. But we like talking. We're still here because we like talking football on a Sunday night. That's why we came to do it.
This is true. We had like 400 people here today. This is good, man. This is big. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy the misery. That's what we're all about.
Misery loves company, mate.
I do enjoy talking to you. It helps. Apart from pre-deadline, you do fuck me over a pre-deadline. You don't really, but
I'm not. Yeah, but we know that. Like we're not prime soulmates for talking through the games.
No,
no,
like, this is very true.
I don't know if people think we're not, but we're not really. We're not in that way. You know, is I have my doors that I go knocking down for the views that I want for them. I do think that it's still just a big deal. Is that people need to have their.
I think I don't do enough of that personally. Yeah. I think I don't do enough of that. I don't do like as you said. Like if I'd have done a due diligence type shit and gone and like, I'm not sure about my City move. Who shall I go and speak to? I'll go and speak to Luke. Right? Like that should have been like primary. Like Luke, what do you think? I'm thinking like, I mean, I didn't have much time to think about it, but I've got Doku. Do you think this is a Doku game? It could have been the easiest question I could have asked any day this week. Like I could have asked that question on Tuesday last week. Yeah. And if he'd have turned around to me like, I missed your message. It's been a couple of days. Sorry, it's Friday. But yeah, I think it's a Doku game. Like, cool, man. Thanks. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's go with that. And I'll be 22 points plus an 8-point hit better off than I am now.
Maybe.
And I'll be getting the love that Praz got last week.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Well, maybe not quite. Maybe not quite.
I think this is another of those lessons. I do think as well, the more people that you trust that you can talk to. So it's not about absconding decisions. It's not about that I'm going to go to you and say, look, this is what I'm thinking. I wouldn't mind your view in your position, what you'd want. That's not absconding it. But actually, when you know that you've done the due diligence on your decisions, then when it goes terribly, I just think you don't feel as bad. Like I'm on 11 points and I'm like, well, my team didn't look like 11 points. My predicted models and all their stuff didn't say that I was going to have a bad week. And yet here we are. So therefore, I'm like, okay. As our good friend Praz says, process good.
Process good. Process good. I mean, I look at optimized and it expected me to get 48 points. I'm on 16. Like you can't legislate for that shit.
Yeah.
That's the bit is you just can't legislate for that sort of shit.
But
and that's without
I'm
Doku,
sure,
as well.
I'm sure there's not that many people that are above their predicted points this week.
No. That's fair.
So, is I just think yeah.
Well, this tells you it. So yeah, that pretty much tells you it. I mean, versus the prime, so I'm down. What's double 16? 32. So I'm down 32 points. Yeah, I'm only down 10 points versus the rest of the field. Yeah. So everyone's suffering, but some are suffering less than me.
Some are suffering less.
But the Doku, if I had Doku, I would just like if I had the Doku, that'd be a huge spike, and I'd just be like, okay, cool, whatever. Everything else can just happen, right?
Yeah. I was supposed to be on basically a grey arrow right now, and I'm currently 15 points below the average.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man.
Do you know what I mean?
It's so harsh, man. It's so harsh.
This game can be this way, but you have to just tell yourself that at some point it will swing your way.
Yeah. And on that note, let's do it. Let's do it. On that note, if you haven't liked the stream so far, make sure you hit like 152 likes so far. Let's get it up to like 180 before you guys all disappear. We are disappearing now, but thank you for joining us. It has been a disaster for both of us this week, 27 points combined. But we're here, we're drinking, we're having fun, we're enjoying ourselves, because that's FPL, right? It's just about having a chat at the end of the day. That's why we do it.
And we will be chatting again tomorrow night because it's Tottenham
Chelsea. So, Son can absolutely punish me to the hills. I don't care, because if that means that Tottenham win, then Tottenham win. If it means that Tottenham lose, I'll be pissed off.
Oh, man.
But
this potentially is like, from a real life football perspective, is like
what a weekend.
Unbelievable.
Like, apart from City, obviously, which we expected, it's just like an unbelievable weekend.
Yeah. On that note,
agreed.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. We're out. See you later.
See you later. Bye.